Every now and then, when you do this kind of job, when you talk on the radio, every now and then, my day starts at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I get here about 3 o'clock in the morning. And every day, I get here, I do show prep, I pull stories, I look for stories, I pull the sound that's available. The sound is the sound clips that you hear that kind of illustrate what we're talking about, illustrate the story, kind of give a little context to the story. And so every day we do that. I do this from 3 to 6 o'clock in the morning. And very rarely, not very rarely, but oftentimes there's one big story. Maybe out of a 5-day week, there is a big story 3 or 4 days out of that week. One big giant story that everyone's talking about. Jussie Smollett, Trump in Vietnam, tax regulations, some new revelation on the Mueller report. There's one big story that comes out. Very rarely, however, does it happen where two stories hit that are huge, that really get to the heart of the fight that we're in. As you all know, that this is the greatest country on the planet today. We save people. We're the world's police. When a catastrophe hits clear across the globe, we're there with aid, we're there with money, we're there with resources. When something happens here, we're able to mobilize quickly and save lives. If there's a major natural disaster, we can see the people being saved and helped by resources that our capitalist society has in place, our government has in place due to our capitalism. And so we're able to save people all the time. People come here from other countries. They want to come here because they want to experience the American dream. They want to come here. They want to work hard, and they want to move up the social ladder. They want their children to have a better life than them. And that's why so many people want to come to this great country. So there's no doubt that this country is a great country. And by virtue of being a great country, by virtue of being the most powerful country, by virtue of being one of the richest countries, we are the cog that spins this wheel on our globe today. Now, you can make arguments about where we rank in different criteria and say we're not that great, but the fact of the matter is everyone looks to us. And when everyone looks to you, you're the leader. You're the one in charge. You're the one that keeps the ball rolling down the road. Well, there's two stories that hit yesterday that fundamentally changes how this country moving forward can impact the rest of the globe. And I will tell you, these two stories impact the rest of the world in such a way that it's going to be destructive. I can tell you there's two big stories, these two huge stories that seemingly are at odds with each other, but really tell a story of where we are today, in our world today, in our country today, and the war. Yes, I said it. The war that we are waging every single day. There are two stories that illustrate more than anything since I've been on this radio show, since I've been doing this radio show, two stories that show us the battle, the real battle that we're in, not only for the soul of our country, but the culture of our country. Not only even for the soul of our world today, our globe today, for humanity, but for the culture all across the globe. Two stories. One, the Democrats in the U.S. Senate, 100 people in the U.S. Senate. If you're the most powerful country in the world, this is the most powerful body of people, 100 senators, pushed back and voted down a bill that would disallow or make it illegal to kill a baby after it's born. The Born Alive Act, put forth by Ben Sasse. Survivors Protection Act fails in the Senate. It was voted against. All the Democratic senators running for president voted against it. That means a baby born alive has no surety of surviving an abortion and giving and would be given medical attention. It failed to pass the U.S. Senate. I want you to think about that. A baby born alive still can be aborted, and it's not considered murder. A baby, an infant, the one cry, slap on the butt, can be born alive and then aborted. That speaks volumes as to where we are in our country today. Donald Trump called it the most despicable vote ever taken in the history of the Senate. And that's hyperbole, but yes, it is. Yes, it is. The other story that speaks volumes as to the war that we're in for the culture and the heart and soul of our great country is the fact that the Gender Equality Act is moving its way through the Congress, pushed by the Democrats, that would bring equality for transgenders. Now, that on its surface, you would say, well, Shelley, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. But in my estimation, everyone under the living in this country who is a citizen of this country, and we even have pushes where people that are not citizens in this country are protected by our Constitution, but everyone's treated equally or should be treated equally. I never believe there should be a separate law for separate groups of people. That's the division. If you're a man or a woman and you're born in this country, you're protected, period. There shouldn't be extra protections for black people or gay people or women or anything. Why do you need extra protections? But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is this Gender Equality Act says that transgenders be protected against discrimination in the workplace and in education and so forth. That's fine. I'm all for that. They should already be under everything else that the protections that people receive. But here's the kicker. When you drill down on the act that's being pushed by the Democrats through the House, the act also allows for a male who's born a male. He's born with the utensils and tools of a man. He's born with the hormones and muscular structure of a man. Decides one day in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, or even college, that he's a woman now, can compete in sports designed for women, or vice versa. If a woman decides she's a man, she can compete in sports for men. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to lead to the destruction of this great country. And if it leads to when it leads to the destruction of this great country, it's also going to lead to the destruction of the world itself. Because we have just jumped the shark. Yesterday, the Democrats voted to not protect babies born alive from being aborted out of the womb. That is not murder. They voted against protecting those babies, those infants. And at the same time, they're running an act, the Gender Equality Act, where men, born as men, born with a penis, can decide that they're a girl and participate against women, turning on its head what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 is around the corner. If we don't win in 2020, we have not only lost the culture, the war, the heart, the soul of this country. Humanity itself is dead. It's the Shelley Winter Show on the New Talk 106.7. It's time to go to the Haviland Express Loop Traffic Center with my brother, Matthew Dorr.
Is brought to you by Haviland Express Loop. When was the last time you had your oil changed?